This morning in our Raise Your Credit Scores segment, we're talking about how to build new credit when you have no credit or bad credit. So Anselmo Moreno joining us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, so let me ask you this before we get into the specifics. Is it worse to have no credit or bad credit?
No credit.
No credit. See, I thought I've heard that, but I wasn't sure if that was a myth or not. So you have no credit, you're starting a new year, maybe you want to work on that. Where do we start? What's the right way to do it? Because we know there's a right and a wrong way.
You got to start with a bank account.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people still nowadays I run into don't have a bank account, and that is one of the basic fundamentals to starting credit is open up a bank account, because your bank is going to provide different offers and services to help you open up new credit, where otherwise if you go to a department store, you're just going to get declined.
And you say start off with secured credit. Define that for me. What is secured credit?
It's like a credit card on training wheels. And so basically you go to your bank, you give them a $300 deposit, and they give you a $300 credit card that you can now use like a regular credit card. But the fundamental basic thing about it is it reports to the credit bureaus, and it helps build your credit so you can, take the training wheels off at one point.
Okay, I like that analogy. And you're saying parent and authorized users. Why is that an important bullet point we have here?
That's something that happened with me. My mom kind of gave me a head start when I started my credit, because she added me on one of her old cards that she had, and it just kind of that history and that payment history was added on my profile at a very young age. So it really opened up a lot of doors for me to be able to open up credit relatively quickly when I was young.
But what should parents know about that? Because I'd imagine that's a little bit of a risk for them as well.
Absolutely. I mean, just don't give the kid access to the card, because then they will have charging privileges. But as an authorized user, the kid does not have any liability on the card.
I guess the key word is monitor, monitor, monitor.
Yes.
So these are the things, the right things to do, things you want to look for, things you want to engage in. Let's go to the other side. Things to stay away from. Here we go. We're going to start off with payday loans.
Yes, I mean, payday loans don't report to your credit report. So we have to know that payday loans do not report on the credit report, and they just kind of they're tended to go to the consumers to kind of keep them in that loop. So payday loan after payday loan, and most people pay those on time, but unfortunately they don't report to your credit report, so it's not going to build your credit. Pawn shop loans are the same thing, and rent-to-own loans are the same thing as well. So a lot of people kind of tend to gravitate towards those because they don't have any credit, but those don't report to the credit bureau, so you're not doing yourself any favors. And
the final one there, prepaid or preloaded cards.
Yes.
Why stay away from those?
They don't report to the credit bureaus.
Same thing, huh?
It's the same thing. So you go, you deposit some money, you're able to spend it like a regular Visa or MasterCard, but it doesn't build your credit. So that's why secured would be a much better option.
Okay, so we've gone over these first two steps, what to get into, what not to get into. Once you get your credit, what's the best way to manage it? Because that's kind of where people run into trouble,
right.
Isn't it?
Yeah, obviously, pay on time. I mean, that's the most important thing somebody could do with their credit report is pay on time. But once you start to get these secured cards and whatnot, you want to pay them on time, but don't go anywhere near or over the limit. That's one of the other more important factors of the credit score is, maintaining a healthy balance as it compares to your credit limit and paying them on time.
Does it help in any way to pay more? I've always heard you always want to pay more than the minimum that you're required to pay for that month. Does that in any way help for credit purposes? No, that doesn't. That just helps you get your debt down, huh?
Yes.
And then the last one, you say don't over apply for credit. Why?
What happens is when you turn 18, 19, or if you're just building credit in general, you tend to apply everywhere you go, where you're at a kiosk at the mall or you're at the store at the mall, and at every cash register they'll ask you for a credit application, and so next thing you know, you've built up 15 credit applications, and then your score is just already going to start off to being bad because you have too many inquiries.
Very, very good tips. I know a lot of people have that as part of their New Year's resolution, just some sort of financial stability, maybe getting out of debt, maybe getting credit, whatever it may be. And so if people want to contact you, what's the best way to do so?
They can give us a call at 377-1861.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.
All right. John?